I'm joined by Aiko Thurlow, founder of Commercery. You know, Aiko, with Commercery, you cover entrepreneurs and tools and apps they can use. Can you define to the audience what is entailed in the tools and apps that you showcase?
Absolutely. Well, so the goal of Commercery is to really give small business owners, entrepreneurs, and even solo entrepreneurs an opportunity to share out of word of mouth what they're using. So mainly the tools and apps that are showcased are the favorite tools and apps that people are using, successful businesses. And it's pretty much to say, if your friend was to start a business tomorrow, what tools or apps would you recommend them to use to run their business well? What has worked for you?
And what is the importance of tools and apps for an entrepreneur?
Well, I mean, so many businesses need help, right? Because the truth about a small business is that when you're starting off your business, you can really, go in with a really nice title as CEO. In the back, however, you're also the accountant, you're also, the bookkeeper, the marketing expert, sometimes you're the web developer, you're the janitor, right? So, what happens with wearing so many hats is that it's really hard to keep on growing the business, and a lot of the time people end up working in the business instead of just growing the business. So that's one of the difficulties that is prevented by being able to automate and to use tools to help you out. So when you're talking about the importance of tools, let's say, right, some of the types of tools that you could use would be to be more efficient internally at your business. So therefore, get rid of these redundant daily tasks of accounting, to-do lists, and so on and so forth. And then the other thing is also to ease how you expand your business. So that means that for your business to grow, there are some things that can be automated to make it easier. So that would be reaching out to people, or let's say CRM systems, right? So therefore, if you're automating your email marketing, that can make it a lot easier for you to get in touch with clients and then get a better relationship that way, and helps you just expand what you're able to do to reach out to your audience and to your clients ultimately. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. So what are some of the traits or characteristics of a good tool for an entrepreneur to use?
Good question, actually. Ultimately, it needs to make you efficient, right? So it needs to, whether it's in your business or, as I was talking about, to expand what you're doing with your business, it needs to be something that, first of all and most of all, you will use. So there are a lot of great tools out there that work for certain people and won't work for others. It needs to fit into your routine in a way where you will make a habit of using it. It will integrate in how you work. So I think that's the biggest thing to look at. And then in looking at this, you also need to make sure that, the key points I would think of is something that's easy, something that's reliable, and something that's going to give you peace of mind. So think of a little bit like if you were to hire someone for your business, right? So kind of the main attributes that you'd be looking for could be along these lines as well. And then ultimately about the cost, because that's a big question that does come up. If there is a cost to it, it's okay. It shouldn't be a huge detriment. However, you need to make sure that the time that you save justifies the cost. So therefore, if, let's say, your average time would be of, you're charging $50 per hour, then you need to make sure that the time that you're saving justifies that cost, right? So therefore, that the extra time that you have can then enable you to go bring in new business, to go do other things that are more profitable.
Now, there are a lot of tools out there. Are there any that you feel are a waste of time or money?
Yes. Well, it's hard to say that it's a tool specifically. Again, I think I'm back to, there are a lot of tools that people have and that they will not use, right? So how many people have you heard of using, let's say they downloaded an app on their phone, and it's just there, but they just never use it. And I think that that's a problem. It's typically, I would say, gadgets often fall in that category. And then when, it can be fun, you'll use it for a little bit of time, but then it's not justified being part of your business anymore. So I think it's important once in a while to kind of take a step back and, make sure that what you have is what you're using, and especially so if you're spending money for it, be twice as careful and make sure that it's something that can naturally fit into your business operation.
And once again, it's Michael Luchies here with Aiko Thurlow of Commercery, and you can visit Commercery at COMMERCERY, that's commercery.com. So got one last question here for you. What are 3 to 5 tools or apps that you would recommend for any entrepreneur to use?
So things I would recommend, so first of all, I mean, I recently spoke to an entrepreneur whose office burned down, and the amazing part of the story is that he didn't skip a beat in his business operations, right? So, like, one takeaway from that is that I think no one is safe from having something really horrible happen to your business. Just make sure you back yourself up. So I would say the first thing I would recommend is a cloud-based solution. That could be something like Dropbox, Evernote, whatever it is that you want to use, to just back up all the documents that you're using instead of just having them on your computer hard drive. The second thing that I would recommend, and it seems very obvious, but I think I'm still hearing of some people not making the best use out of it, is having a calendar that can help you out. So, having a calendar like Google Calendar can really just help you make yourself so much more efficient by taking care of anything that has to do with time planning, putting that out of your hand, and just reminding you when it's necessary. So it almost becomes like a really cheap, really reliable personal assistant for basic calendar events. The third app that I would be looking at is in terms of analytics. I think, it's kind of taken for granted right now. Businesses will have websites. However, even though they make some blog posts, even though they make some, additional content marketing to drive audience to their website, a lot of people don't validate whether that traffic is really coming. And if it is coming, where is it coming from, right? So I would say having tools where you get some analytics feedback, and that could be some KISS metric, or Google Analytics is free. There's also, I would say look at the analytics of your competitors even. There's a really, really cool website that has, a free version that is still quite exceptional called SimilarWeb. And what SimilarWeb allows you to do is just to plug in any website's email address in. It's going to show you not only the traffic that they get on a month-to-month basis, also where this traffic comes from, typically. So does it come from a third-party website? If so, which one? Does it come from just a basic organic search, so on and so forth? And then that can kind of give you insights into how is your competitor doing, right? So what are they doing in their marketing? Where are they getting their traffic from? And how is this generating into the great company that they've turned into? Maybe some cues to be taken from that. And then one more thing. So number 4, I would say social media management tool. So there's so many different streams of social media right now. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything. I would say, first focus your social media presence on certain key aspects or certain key channels. Don't try to be on all of them. That's my personal take on it. But on top of this, you will, chances are you will be on more than one social media platform. So in order to manage all of this and in order to, pre-plan some of your posts and so on, I would highly recommend something like Hootsuite or like Buffer that lets you just schedule things in advance so that you can actually write posts right now for your whole week. And that will not only let you publish these posts at the most critical time of the day, so the times that are, better for social media where most people will be reading your posts, but it also allows you to have peace of mind, right? So I'm back to when you were talking about what makes for a good tool. I'm back to talking about really what's going to be making a difference for your business, something reliable that gives you peace of mind that's easy. I would say Hootsuite really fits the bill on that. And on top of this, it's still a free tool before going into their freemium model where you need to pay for the premium option. And finally, basic one, but we are in tax season, so a good accounting software is really helpful. I have to say QuickBooks has been getting really good reviews so far. I would recommend to go have a look at some of the comments about QuickBooks. Has been one of the most popular ones out there. If not, FreshBooks is also really popular. Just something where you can kind of keep track of all your bills and everything, making sure that the money that you spend as business expenses really comes back to you, that you keep track of it and that you can, really track these expenses and therefore allow your accounting to be up to date with what it should be. So these would be my 5 different tools I would recommend to any entrepreneur.
Great. Well, thanks again for your time. And if people would like more information on you or Commercery, what would be the best way to get in contact with you?
Come and visit me on the website, commercery.com. If not, feel free to say hello either on Twitter or on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you and hear what type of software makes a difference for your business.
Great. And thanks again for your time, and good luck with everything here in the future.
Thank you.